Hello to all Cinemaster lovers. Hope you enjoy watching. Let's get started. The movie begins with an old legend about people born with a gift, and that gift was their ability to play incredibly beautiful music, so powerful that it could summon spirits from the past and future, making them appear. In West Africa, people referred to this gift as kratos. This gift was known to heal people in their communities. But the problem was that people discovered it also attracted evil. And in 1932, in one of the cities, we see a young man named Sammy arriving at the church, his face covered in wounds, holding a broken guitar. He enters to find Father Estes inside the church. As soon as the priest sees him, he asks him to enter quickly, urging him to throw away the guitar, telling him he must stay away from music, follow God, and repent. But Sammy, holding onto the broken guitar, recalls memories of people dying and being injured, including himself, when someone had wounded his face. We need to go back one day earlier. We see Sammy's twin cousins, Smock and Stack, returning to the city after living for a long time in Chicago. They had stolen from a dangerous gang there and fled back to the city. They were waiting for a gangster to arrive to sell them a place. Soon enough, the gangster arrives in a car and takes them to show them the location. We learn that Smoke and Stack wanted to turn the place into a bar for parties, especially for black people. They gave the gangster a lot of money but warned him and his gang that if they came near the place again, they wouldn't spare them. The gangster agreed and left. Afterward, they went to pick up their cousin Sammy and headed to a hidden truck full of liquor, intended for the big opening party. Suddenly, a snake appeared in front of them. Before it could attack, Smock acted quickly and killed it. They inspected the truck to ensure everything was in place. Smock suggested they open the place next week, but Stack insisted they open it that day, saying it was a beautiful day. Initially, Smock refused, but with Stack's persistence, he agreed, on the condition that they split up to prepare the place quickly. Stack agreed, took Sammy, and went to get the place ready, while Smock took the truck into the city to meet his friends. When Smock reached the city, he saw a little girl and asked her to watch the truck. Smock entered a shop and met his old friend Bo and Bo's daughter, Lisa. Smock asked Bo to help him open the bar that day. Before he could finish talking, the girl outside honked the horn. Smock rushed out to find two men trying to steal the truck. He shot one in the back and the other in the leg. One of them recognized Smock and surrendered, claiming he didn't know it was Smock's truck. The girl confirmed that she had warned them it belonged to Smock, but they didn't believe her. Smock returned to the shop, gave Bo money to treat the injured thieves outside, and asked Bo's wife, Grace, to prepare 100 large fish and a sign for the new place. Grace agreed, but asked for payment. Smock promised to pay her whatever she wanted if she worked quickly. Meanwhile, Stack and Sammy were spending quality time together. Stack revealed to Sammy that Smock had killed their father because he used to treat them badly and beat them often. Then he changed the subject, asking Sammy to take care of the guitar he had brought from Chicago, saying it was a rare piece. He asked Sammy to play something, and Sammy, being very talented, played beautifully. The two then went to the train station to pick up a professional musician named Salim. At first, Salim rejected Stack's offer, but when Stack promised him lots of money and liquor, Salim agreed. He played music with Sammy in the street, drawing a crowd. Stack used the opportunity to announce the location of their opening party. During this time, Sammy noticed a girl named Berlin among the crowd. He was very attracted to her, invited her to the event, and she said she'd think about it before leaving. Suddenly, Mary, an old girlfriend of Stack, appeared and argued with him for abandoning her in the past. Stack gave her a few sharp words, leaving her upset as she walked away. On their way, Salim saw a group of enslaved people and was disturbed by the sight. Sammy couldn't understand why Salim was so upset. Salim explained that he had been taken advantage of and forced to sing for free in the past, leading to his hatred for slavery. Later, they set up a guard named Danny at the new place. Meanwhile, Smock was seen placing a flower on a specific grave. He then entered and spoke with Sandy, asking her to cook for the event. It was revealed that Sandy wasn't just kind-hearted, but also Smoke's old lover, and the grave belonged to their son. Elsewhere in the city, a man with smoke emanating from his body knocked on the door of a couple's house, claiming Native Americans were chasing him and had taken his wife. The couple let him in. Shortly after, the Native Americans arrived, asking about the man. The woman lied, saying he wasn't there. One of the Native Americans warned her that the man was deceptive, but she insisted he wasn't there. The Native Americans were forced to leave as the sun was setting. When the woman returned inside, she found the man had bitten her husband's neck, killing him. To her horror, her husband rose from the dead, and she screamed in terror. By evening, everything was ready at the new place. The casino was up and running, and everything was going well. Berlin arrived with Smock, making Sammy very happy as he was going to perform that night. Even Mary showed up, befriending Sammy, and telling him her mother had died the previous day, leaving her deeply saddened. Smock encouraged Sammy to perform, while he told Stack to resolve things with Mary. Stack approached Mary, asking her to leave, but she refused, saying she had every right to stay as a customer. She reminded him that he didn't even attend her mother's funeral, who had raised him and his brother, nor did he place a single flower on her grave. Stack sarcastically replied that he had sent her plenty while she was alive, then left her. Salim performed first, captivating the audience. Then Sami, full of confidence, took the stage. He played music so mesmerizing that it revealed his gift of kratos. His music was so powerful that it summoned spirits from the past and future to play alongside him. But as this power attracts good souls, but it also attracted evil souls. The vampire, who was fleeing from the Native Americans along with the two accompanying him, approached the place to enter. As soon as Danny spotted them from afar, he sent someone to call the twins quickly. He was surprised that there were people wanting to enter the party, which was unusual because of the racial discrimination of that era. Danny insisted they should not be allowed entry until the twins arrived. The first vampire introduced himself as Remak, and the two with him were John and Bert. When Sammy arrived, he recognized Remak, who said to him, "You're the one who plays music." Smock was suspicious of them, and Fidless asked them who they were and where they came from. Remak replied that they came from a nearby village. He explained that they heard the music and liked it so much that they decided to join the celebration. Smock told him the nearest village was 50 kilometers away, questioning how they could have walked that far on foot. Remak changed the subject, and they all started playing and singing a strange song. Smock became annoyed and ordered them to leave. Remak tried to bribe him, saying they had a lot of money to spend that night, but Smock insisted they leave. When Remak asked why Mary, who was white, was allowed in, Sandy replied that Mary was family. Smock then threatened them with his gun. They agreed to leave slowly, in case he changed his mind. Meanwhile, Mary went to Stack and told him they were about to face financial problems, especially since the black farmers there that day didn't have enough money to cover the costs of the place. She suggested letting the three strangers in and trying to extract enough money from them to cover expenses. Stack asked Mary to find out how much money they had. Mary approached them and found them singing. When she asked why they were there, they said they could enter if she confirmed they had enough money. John pulled out gold coins from his pocket, surprising Mary because the coins looked unusual. Remak explained they were old gold coins from another time and that they had plenty of them. Before Mary could respond, Remak interrupted her, saying she seemed sad and had a lot of pain in her heart, and offered to heal her. Startled, Mary admitted her mother had recently passed away, but stopped mid-sentence when she noticed Remak's eyes turning red. Frightened, she realized their intentions were evil. She quickly grabbed her gun and ordered them to leave immediately. But as soon as she turned her back, Remak jumped towards her and bit her. Inside the venue, Berlin was singing passionately, and everyone sang along. Suddenly, Mary entered and asked Danny to let her in. Danny allowed her entry, and she began dancing. Shortly after, Salim came out to Danny at the door, complaining that it was too hot inside. Danny asked Salim to guard the door while he stepped away briefly. At that moment, Mary went to Stack, handed him the money, and took him to a room. Meanwhile, a fight broke out between two people, almost turning deadly. Smock intervened and asked Sammy to call Stack, but Sammy refused. Smock went himself, and upon opening the door, he was shocked to find Mary biting Stack's neck. He quickly drew his gun and shot her several times. To his surprise, she got up again but then collapsed and fled, warning that they would all die. Smock rushed to Stack and tried to stop the bleeding, but unfortunately, Stack died in his arms. His last words were that he loved him. Sandy instructed Selim to lock the door and evacuate everyone from the venue. Salim complied, clearing the place and telling everyone they would reopen the next day. Sammy blamed himself for Stack's death, as he had seen Mary take him to the room. Sandy recalled Mary's warning as she fled, realizing she wasn't alone. She asked Smock to move Stack's body outside, suspecting he might not be truly dead. Smoke refused and requested Sandy perform a spell to bring Stack back. Sandy declined, saying she couldn't. At the same time, Sandy convinced her husband to leave the venue. He agreed and went to prepare their car. Sandy escorted Smock and everyone else out of the room, locking it and giving Sammy the key, instructing him never to open that door. Meanwhile, Danny returned and begged Selim to let him in. Selim questioned where he had been, and Danny replied vaguely, saying he had gone to the bathroom and wandered around. Smoke arrived and scolded Danny for not guarding the venue, leading to Stack's death. Sandy questioned why Danny needed permission to enter, suspecting he had turned into one of them. Danny tried to deny it, but Sandy warned Smock, saying she felt he had become one of them. Danny demanded his payment and said he would leave. When Smock handed him the money, Danny suddenly grabbed Smock's hand and attempted to bite him. Smock shot Danny in the face and quickly retreated inside. Danny tried to follow but couldn't enter. Sandy told Smock the attackers weren't ghosts or demons. They were vampires. Before she could finish, Stack, who had turned into a vampire, awakened in the locked room. He knocked on the door, asking them to let him out. Sandy warned Smock that he wasn't his brother anymore. Stack pretended to be fine and pleaded with Smock to open the door. Smock went to retrieve the key, but Stack suddenly broke the door and emerged. Sandy immediately threw garlic water on him, burning him, forcing Stack to flee. Later, Lisa wanted to leave to search for her father, but they convinced her to stay, as it was too dangerous outside. Sandy taught them how to fight vampires using wooden stakes and garlic, explaining that sunlight was their greatest weakness. Smock asked about Sandy's plan, and she revealed that vampires' minds were connected. She asked Smock to promise to kill her if she ever got bitten, reminding him their son was waiting for her in the afterlife. They discovered a bloodied body among them. Sammy and Smock moved it outside, where they saw vampires singing and dancing, having turned everyone who had left the venue into vampires, including Bo. Their numbers had grown significantly. Back inside, Sandy instructed everyone to eat garlic to ensure they hadn't been turned into vampires. Berlin refused, prompting Smock to point a gun at her. When Sammy objected, Smock hit him, forcing Berlin to comply. He ate it, and they were all fine and in great shape. Afterward, Smock discovered that the man they released was Sammy, who was still alive, and what was around him was just red currants with blood. Suddenly, they heard the man knocking on the door, saying something was wrong outside. Before Smock could open for him, Danny attacked him, bit him, and drank his blood. Then he appeared in front of Grace, asking her to come with him, telling her they would go home. Of course, Grace was terrified and disgusted by the fact that he was a vampire, refusing to go out to him or even let him in. Suddenly, Rimac appeared in front of them and told Smock that their only way out was to cooperate with him, and everything would be fine. When Smock refused, Rimac threatened Grace, saying he would go to her house and kill her daughter. She was terrified for her daughter and started screaming. Rimac then spoke to Sammy, telling him he wanted him because his music was so powerful it summoned his ancestors. He offered all of them to become vampires and live forever. Salim got angry and declared they wouldn't leave Sami. Rimac told them they were going to die anyway because the man they had bought the place from intended to kill them all in the morning since they had cornered him, taking the money and the place. Suddenly, the man who had just transformed smiled wickedly. Estok tried to convince his brother to join them, and when they felt he might influence him, they quickly brought Smock in and shut the door. Grace was devastated and couldn't bear it, knowing that if she waited until morning her daughter would be dead. She screamed at the top of her lungs, calling them in, which delighted Rimac as it allowed him to enter easily. Smoke and his group prepared their weapons and Molotov cocktails, waiting for them. When they entered, Grace threw a Molotov at Rimac, but it missed. She attacked her husband and killed him with a wooden stake to the heart, even though they were both on fire. Chaos erupted. Berlin and Sammy were shooting vampires, while Smock and Sandy stabbed them with stakes. But the vampires were numerous and attacked fiercely. Sandy sprayed holy water on Rimac, causing pain to all the other vampires. Sandy realized that what affected Rimac also affected the others. She informed Smock, but suddenly Estok attacked her. Before Smock could move toward her, Estok bit Sandy quickly. Berlin immediately shot him. Smock rushed to Sandy, who was bleeding out in front of him. She asked him to fulfill his promise, and Smock killed Sandy before she could transform. Salim sacrificed himself, allowing the others to escape. But as soon as they exited through the back door, they found Rimac and Estok waiting for them. Estok attacked Smock, and Rimac attacked Sami. Berlin tried to protect her lover, stabbing Rimac in the back with a stake, but Rimac attacked her, biting her neck. Smock shot Rimac to get him off Berlin. Berlin urged Sammy to escape, and he did. But Rimac caught up with him, clawing his face, the same wound seen at the beginning of the film. Meanwhile, Smock and Estok were fighting. Smock grabbed a wooden stake, pinning Estok down, but Estok attacked quickly, knocking the stake out of Smock's hand. Smock flipped the table at the last moment, pinning Estok underneath. Rimac lifted Sammy with one hand, choking him. Sammy grabbed his guitar and hit Rimac on the head, causing all the vampires to feel the same pain. But Rimac didn't die. He grabbed Sammy's head, moving closer to bite his neck and turn him into one of them. Suddenly, Smoke appeared at the last moment and stabbed Rimac. All the vampires felt the same pain. Smoke rushed to check on Sammy, finding that he hadn't been bitten. At that moment, the sun rose, burning Rimac and all the remaining vampires. Rimac burned to death before the stake could be removed from his body, and his demonic soul was sent to hell. Afterward, Smock and Sammy retrieved a strange box from the car. Smock asked Sammy to be strong without him. Sammy drove the car back to the church, holding the remains of the guitar, which was the first scene of the film. Smock sat in front of the place on the box, reminiscing about all the good memories with his brother. He opened the box, revealing a machine gun and a sniper rifle. Later, a gang leader and his group arrived with weapons to kill Smoke's gang, but they found no one. Smock began sniping them one by one from a distance. When he ran out of bullets, he approached them, taking the hidden machine gun and killing the rest of the gang. Even when 3 tried to escape in a car, he threw a grenade, blowing them up. Unfortunately, he was shot in the side but persisted, going to the gang leader who had sold him the place and emptying his weapon into him. Smock realized he would die from his injuries. Years later, Sammy, now an old man, continued playing the guitar. One day, in a Chicago casino, a guard told him 2 people wanted to see him. Sammy allowed them in, shocked to see Estoc and Mary. Estoc told him not to be surprised, revealing that Smoke couldn't kill him back then, but made him promise not to harm Sammy. Estoc offered to turn Sammy into a vampire to play longer and live a longer life. Sammy declined, saying he was content. Estoc asked Sammy to play something old. Sammy brought out their father's old guitar, playing the first tune Estoc had taught him in the car. Estoc and Mary enjoyed the music. Estoc left $200, fulfilling an old promise, and asked Sammy to take care of himself before leaving. Sammy stopped him, asking how he felt the day everything changed. Estoc admitted it was the best day of his life, as he and his brother achieved their dream of gathering their people and creating a place for them. Sammy began to recall everything as the film ended. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to get more new videos. See you next time.